And I think for me, I would say one of the greatest risks was losing the dream. How many times have we been loyal not to take a risk?
Yes.
They will still kill us. Have you ever been in a situation where you feel, if I stay where I am, things will not change. If I go, things will not change. What is the risk that you could be taking? What if?
Fear sometimes disguises itself as wisdom. You will begin to tell yourself, what if I get hurt again? And then you think that's a lot of wisdom.
Yes.
What if I get hurt again?
Do you feel triggered? In any way? I feel we should wrap up this conversation and go home. If I took the risk of opening my heart again, I'm already calculating the risks.
Yes.
And I'm writing them down. And they're in plain black and white. And I keep repeating them in my mind.
As we are movers, we move. We don't even wait for knowing that it is time. Time for what? We move, like we go. So as soon as I sense pain, I leave. So we are women who are healing, and as we heal, we are taking steps in our lives. We are not just sitting and saying, I'm waiting to heal.
Confronting that which we keep avoiding should make you come out of the gate and move.
I can open my heart and I can receive the blessings.
We are looking to have a healed community together. Stop loving the dream. It requires me to stop living in the ruin of it.
Healing is possible.
Healing is possible. Thank you for joining us again today for the For Him podcast. We are delighted you're here, and we hope even as we continue with this journey, as we continue having these talks together, as we continue interacting, you are going to, get your journey, where you are, the healing you're taking, and let's grow together. And so we'd want to ask you to follow us on our social media pages, share our stories here, and ask your friends to also join with us, and we'll be glad. My name is Wamboi Angelica. You can call me Angie, and I am a quarter of the For Him podcast.
And my name is Clara Muyera. I am a quarter of the For Him podcasts.
My name is Neno Ndiema, and I am a quarter of the For Him podcast.
And my name is Ivy Mdedi, and I am a quarter of the For Him podcast.
And together we are the For Him podcast. For Him podcast, Healing in Motion. And we've been discussing from the book of 2 Kings, chapter 7, about the 4 lepers. And today we are asking ourselves, just like the lepers asked themselves, if they kill us, they were at the gate, and there they are. If they kill us, when we go in, they will kill us. If we remain here, they will still kill us. Have you ever been in a situation where you feel, if I stay where I am, things will not change. If I go, things will not change. What is the risk that you could be taking? What if? What is this uncertainty that you're saying, I need to embrace? The 4 of us, we've been in journeys where we've had to tell ourselves, if I sit here, in our different journeys, if I sit here, I will die. If I move forward, I will die. But what is the risk? See, I just take a step and move forward. And so today, that is what we are going to be discussing. That is what we're going to be sharing. And my prayer and desire is that at the end of this podcast, we're going to be blessed together. Yes. And so I would want us to start with the first question, which we would want to answer. What risks have you avoided that might actually lead to your healing? Because there are risks that you avoid taking, and the minute you're able to cross that path, you'll be able to get your healing. Maybe, Neno, you can tell us, are there risks you avoided or you are avoiding to take even in this meeting that could lead to your healing?
Let me tell you, one of the risks that I avoided and have avoided for a very, very, very long time.
Very long time.
Very long time is going through therapy. Honestly speaking, I was thinking, who is going to unpack?
Yeah.
Let's try next year. Hey, who is going to unpack? So it's one of those things that, yes, I have talked to a friend, I've talked to another friend. I have been, of course, I'm a church girl.
Yes.
Church girl. You know? But like just taking myself through that very, very painful process of exfoliating is one of the risks that I feel maybe if I took it earlier, I would have reaped the benefits earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And before I got to really understand and appreciate the value of therapy, I used to be among the ones who used to think therapy is something you do, behind the scenes. You don't say it out loud, and it's that little secret of yours.
Yeah.
But I am coming to see the value. I feel like therapy is something people should do even if you've not gone through any visible trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Because you may not even know that there is something that happened or that you went through or that you're going through that could be affecting you a certain way.
Yeah.
And you're changing,
Yeah.
you know? So it's one of the risks I think if I took earlier, I'd have healed a lot faster.
Wow. And if you're a therapist out there and you'd want to work with us, please get in touch. We have our contacts here. Because as you hear, Nino, that is one of the risks. And many people, I think we've been conditioned to think you're going to see a therapist, you're sick mentally, And so the idea has always been viewed in a negative way. But we are grateful that it's coming out and it's something that we are accepting. So, Clara, what is the risk you've got? Yeah.
Clara is that girl who is feeling like I'm in control, I got this.
Oh, yeah.
I want to manage everything the way I can. But the risk is letting go.
Yeah.
This is something I am really struggling. Yeah. And it boils down to still therapy. Sometimes we do one session of therapy, session here of therapy, and then we think it's okay. I think it should be a continuous process. So letting go of this control that I feel I have over everything in my life, like I've put things in very strategic places. I'm like, you sit here and like Neno mentioned in our previous episode.
Ivy. They're saying you organize your pain.
So letting go and thinking about what are the possibilities out there, the uncertainties that come with just, for me, releasing my heart to just opening my heart again. This is big. This is big. Because I'm already in my mind trying to figure out what would be the outcomes if I took the risk of opening my heart again. I'm already calculating the risks.
Yes.
And I'm writing them down. And they're in plain black and white. And I keep repeating them in my mind. So this is, for me, has been that space of just releasing control and opening up my heart. And
Especially in this age of independent women. Do you want to show vulnerability?
My goodness.
Yeah, Ivy.
Oh, wow. So I think for me, the risk that I could have taken that would have made me heal faster was asking for help. Firstborn daughter syndrome. I don't know how to say I need help here. I found myself in that situation when my mom had just passed on and I have 2 younger siblings. And then now I have to unpack to them what death looks like. Like, mom has gone to heaven. Right now, she's not here with us, but she has transitioned from living here with us to going to live with God. Because now you're talking to a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and I have to explain to her what really death is. And then now on my side, I don't have someone who I need them to explain to me that I'm going through loss. To the contrary, people are telling me you have to be strong for them. You are the firstborn. They are looking up to you. And I had to I felt the need, now that the need has come to me, I felt the need to be like the one standing up for them.
strong.
To be strong. And for that reason, I never asked for help because I thought it was my responsibility to help them.
Yeah.
It was not a responsibility to me to seek for help.
Yeah.
So I think if I would have actually sought for help, I could have healed faster.
Yeah.
Because working with my sisters through loss, and mom is not here, but I'm here. And then I put myself forward. I was like, mom is not, but I'm here in case of anything.
new mother.
I'm the
At what age?
Oh my God, I think I was 21 or what? And then I have 2 children, now my siblings.
Yeah.
And if you need anything, I am here. Me, myself, have not finished school. I'm broke. I am telling them I'm here. And I stayed with that for a very long time. I never sought for help. I felt like I could get solace in serving, being a help to other people, but I never felt that I needed help to actually unpack what it really means to lose someone very close to you. And for that, letting go was really tough because it took a very long time to heal from that loss. Because at some point I felt like I was angry to my mom because now she left.
Yeah.
And then she left me with 2 children. I'm feeling like, now Sasa, you did a very big mistake to leave me. You left and you just left. There was no goodbye. How did you expect me to move on when you were leaving? You didn't think about it. You didn't think about how I will be before you left. And so I'm just reflecting when you asked that question, and I'm thinking, if I actually sought for help, it would not have taken me such a very long time to heal, because every time I lost someone close to me, it would trigger the loss of my mom, because that process was so long, because I shielded myself from wanting to seek help and being the help to other people. I felt the need of standing up to other people, but not to myself. So if I would have actually asked for help, I could have been in a better place for a very long time. Letting go would have been probably a process, but it would have been easier. Yeah.
Wow. I hope our listeners can identify with these risks. And we are not here for no reason. I believe God is allowing us to discuss these things, and even us to help others now. Because if we're here and we see a young girl who has lost the mother or the father, it's not us to tell them be strong, but it is to realize that we also need to just go and and stand with them. And I think for me, I would say one of the greatest risks was losing the dream. You have dreamt of, you grow up knowing you are a young lady. Of course, our generation, the younger ones, the Gen Zs are growing different. But you go to school, you finish your school, you go to college, you get a job, you get married, you get children. And, that's the cycle of life. And being at the gate for me, and the risk that I had was, as I go back to what I said, identity. Yeah. So, number one, accepting that this marriage is over is accepting that identity of a wife is gone.
Lost,
It's like you're accepting, and this identity of being a wife is lost. Not having the baby is accepting. I'm supposed to be a mother. Like, who is not supposed to be a mother? That's what you're supposed to do as a woman. You grow up, I don't know how many grew up doing kalongo, where you cook food, and you are the mother to these dolls. That's what so when you're going through this season, you're like, accepting that becomes, you'd rather not deal with that and that risk. You just want to hold on to it, which, as you say, when you don't ask for help. And I also struggled with going to therapy. Yeah, it is something that I used to tell myself, if I go to therapy, the therapist will ask me this, then I'll tell them this. They ask this, then I'll tell them this. So, so by the time we are done,
You've done for
I've
yourself.
already done the therapy for myself, which is not the way to go. Please go to therapy if you need to. If you go to, if you go for help, and if you sit down and you feel there's something that you really need to get help, it is always okay to go for that help. Maybe I ask, why is the fear of the unknown? Yeah. Why is the fear of the unknown? You have not even gone to therapy. You don't know what is going to happen. Why is the fear of the unknown stronger than the pain of the known? The fear of the unknown.
My goodness.
Honestly speaking.
Why?
As soon as you asked that question, the image that came to my mind was the way we would be told don't go outside when it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm in the room, I'm okay. I'm playful. I'm jumping around. I'm seeing myself as a child in this case.
You are a child of
But
God.
I am a child, hallelujah. And he said that you want son of God anyway. We'll revisit. So I'm seeing myself in that room where there's a lot of light. I can see everything, even if there are broken cups, there are broken windows. I can see.
Yeah.
I can see the broken window. I can see the broken door. I can see if it's someone who's violent, I can see them. At least I can see them, and I know them. I even know their tendencies. I know how they behave and all that and all that. But now out there, I don't know who is there. I don't know what to expect. And then I may have to face realities that I'm not facing in the brokenness that I am sitting in.
Yes.
So when I am sitting in brokenness, I'm trying to picture in my own story. By the time I was talking to that friend of mine that I mentioned in one of our previous episodes, by the time I was talking to her, I was thinking, but this is all I know. This is all I know. So by talking to her, and then she starts telling me, maybe you need to think about doing this. No. I don't want to think about doing anything else. I am just okay. I'm just okay with sitting here telling myself, yes, it's fine. You'll be fine. Just breathe in, breathe out. You'll be just fine, And so just that not knowing, after you ask me to start taking another step, or after you tell me to start meeting someone else, or you start telling me to, I don't know how that will happen. But just to add a thought that came to mind when you asked the first question, your question was the risks we didn't take. I also had an answer for the risk I took.
Okay.
I'm those ones who set my own question.
Yes, and we are here to listen.
One of the biggest joke, for real, the risk I took was to get married.
Oh.
That was such a risk. I was so sure this guy will be disappointed.
Or will be disappointed.
Yes, I was so sure. I was so sure.
Yeah.
Why am I even taking him down that road? I'm like, this guy,
Yes.
I'm very sure that this marriage, let's just say. So when Anto, my husband, came my way and said, you know how they come, eh? They can't even find their words. I'm like, now, I have been, So I'm like, what do I know? I don't know. Tell me.
I've been praying.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been praying. I'm like, oh, goodness, just say it. Anyway, so the guy says, in many words, he says, I love you. I was in shock. I was like, say what? But my look was not, I was like, I gave him a blank stare. I was like, so what do we do about this now that you think you love me?
Yeah.
So I started to tell him things about me that I don't think he will love. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think he will. And then I don't think, and then I don't. So I thought, and then I'm like, and the door is open. Like, shwa, go, And the guy stayed. I'm like, no, this one. Now what do we do with this one now? He's serious about it, Anyway, so long story short, the risk I took, and now I am glad I took, is to allow and open myself to love from someone who is not my sibling or my father or my mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am so glad I took, because 16 years later, I'm like, the guy is still here. Okay, all right, we can.
Yeah.
So
That's
just what to
beautiful.
share.
Yeah. So do you know what fear?
Wow. One of the fear of the unknown is that sometimes the fear of the unknown feels stronger because fear sometimes disguises itself as wisdom. You will begin to tell yourself, what if I get hurt again? And then you think that's a lot of wisdom.
Yes.
What if I get hurt again when I love again?
Imagine.
What if
Leave you alone. Leave you alone.
fear begins to tell you, don't open that business because you have failed before. You will definitely fail. Now, I think it begins to feed you like wisdom that you need to embrace.
Yes.
But it is something that you need to actually set aside for you to move, to rise.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
When you begin to ask yourself, what if, you will begin to have answers that look like wisdom.
Yeah.
Those answers will speak to you in daylight. Those answers,
Triggering us.
yeah,
With tone of us now.
they don't come at night, those kind of answers. They are answers you know very well.
Yeah.
Because your past experience will tell you how your future can look like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you think it is wisdom.
you already see it.
Your past will tell you, I am not able to love again. And you think that is wisdom to keep you alone.
Yeah.
My sister, it is not wisdom to keep you
Her
alone.
system.
It is wisdom to keep you wallowing on the same space, to stagnate you from moving on. In the last episode, we said the greatest risk is not moving and failing. It's staying in the same place and never getting to discover what you could have been if you moved. That is the most painful thing. That you get to heaven and God shows you this picture.
What would have been?
What you could have been.
The wisdom you got in fear.
And the wisdom you got in fear.
Strong.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Too different.
You will cry. And at that particular time, there's no coming back here
To relieve.
to relieve the pain.
Yes.
It is Hosanna in the highest forever.
Yeah.
Strong.
So one of the things that keep people still in fear and they feel it is stronger than coming out is those words that look like wisdom, but they are slow graves with lighting inside of them. They are graves with lighting.
Just come.
They are
Right.
Do you feel triggered? Triggered in any way? I feel we should wrap up this conversation and go home.
Are you ready?
You said fear can disguise itself as wisdom.
Yes.
Very true. Someone explained fear, the acronym of fear, as false evidence appearing real. And this is also evidence in the story of the Bible where the children of Israel have been released to go to the promised land. They get to the wilderness. What do? They murmur and they want to go back.
Yeah.
They are missing what they had, what was familiar, the pain and the anguish that they were going through. I think it's very good to be open to the possibilities that are on the other side of fear, and that is what you're saying. Be very open to it. And I feel that is one action point for me, to be able to forget about fear of the unknown and look forward to the possibilities that are there on the other side of life from where I am sitting. Yeah.
I think maybe sometimes the fear of the unknown is because of who we have made or other people have made us to be. Yeah. You, not to advocate for divorce, but maybe you are in a situation where emotionally, physically, you're under abuse. But the fear is, my identity is a wife. You know? So there's the fear of, what else can I be known for? Yeah?
Yeah.
I am a mother. What else can I be known for? So I think we sabotage ourselves. Somebody said something called sabotage.
A long time ago.
Because we have the pain of, as you said, the pain of the known. This is where we are. I'm used to this kind of pain. And then sometimes it even comes, I find it becomes even physical. You only go to home using one direction. You can get to your house using 3 directions, but that fear makes you
Only
you
one
can
way.
only. The other day I was talking to my dad, and because of our village, there was a bus a long time ago. It's the only bus that has been going to the village. So other buses have started going to our village. Now, the roads are good. And when he came to Nairobi, I'm telling him, use this bus. And he's like, no.
Nah.
Basi is
And you know the word he used? Allegiance.
He's loyal to his bus.
Yes. How many times have we been loyal to our pain? How many times have we been loyal not to take a risk
Yes.
of, you need to take a risk of step out of this job or start that business? Or the pain you've gone through is becoming purpose. Have you shared it with someone else? So that pain, yeah? And maybe just to ask us, how do we discern then? Because we are saying we've talked about the risk and the fear of the unknown, but how do we discern then that it is time, like the lepers, to say, if we sit here, we die. If we go in, we die. So we shall arise and go in. How do you discern that it is now time for us to just go in, whichever way, whether we die, as in if we die, we die. So how do we discern? Clara, how do you discern? is there risk?
She's trying to discern. Trying to discern. But for me, it was at a place of complete brokenness. And this was in 2020. This was my moment of saying that, no, it cannot continue like this. And in that moment, everything was crashing, It's COVID. So it's me and my son there, him in my face, me in his face, getting to know things I didn't know because he was in boarding school and all those things that were happening. And everything was crashing. So at that point, I realized that at this moment, I have to do something. I have to completely get out of this control and feeling and pretense, actually, and just say, look, I need help.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
I think
That's good.
I think for me, my breaking point was when fear was the only thing that was keeping me going. I looked left, right, and center and realized it is fear that was the only thing that was fueling my going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm moving in fear of starting anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm so familiar with where I am. I don't want uncertainty of what could have been beyond. So when I realized fear was the only thing that was keeping me going, it's when I decided now I need to just wake up and move on. Because if I stay here, just like the lepers, I will die in this fear. And fear, the way we said, it makes you feel like it is wisdom to not see the world. It makes you comfortable. That is why pain will begin to talk to you, and pain will tell you, at least you understand how pain feels, but you don't understand what happiness feels. For me, I was there for a really long time. I understand how pain works. It will hurt the heart to the core. It will make you sick for a while, but you will wake up. For me, I understood how that is how pain operates. But I didn't understand how joy operates continuously. How can you always be happy? Like, how does it feel to just be happy? It was not familiar to me. But joy, joy and pain. When I try to enter that space, I begin now to feel like, what if something now happens? And then I begin to cry. What if? Because it is an unfamiliar territory for me. I'm so used to pain and staying in my own space of pain.
Yeah.
And And at that particular point, if it is the only thing that is keeping me there, then I just know, then it is time to rise up.
Yeah. What I resonate with when you say that, growing up, there was this thing that I learned, that if you're too happy, so sometimes when you're too happy, mom would say, the way you're happy like this,
Something bad
Something
is going
bad is coming.
Yes.
Oh.
so the fear of wanting to be happy holds you back, because you know, if I am happy,
Something wrong will
it
happen.
took me a long time to realize I can be happy without the expectation of something bad is going to happen. Because I used to, and of course, when the divorce happened, it's a trigger, because you're like, oh, I thought I was in this happy space. Then this bad thing happened. So it's kind of a trigger. So when you said that, I remembered, maybe that those some of the things that we were, our mind was conformed to knowing. If you're too happy, just be sure, as
Something
day and
bad is
night is there,
coming.
something is coming that will make you. So no.
You know, I'm listening to you and I'm like, oh my goodness, these women were sent. Oh Lord, we have to confront. Okay. My thinking is, unlike I think a few of other personalities, a lot more people sit in the pain and feel it. Now there's another caliber which I think I belong to.
Yes.
As we are movers, we move. We don't even wait for knowing that it is time. Time for what? We move, like we go. So as soon as I sense pain, I leave. You get, I'm the kind that leaves. So even if it's in marriage, you leave by now entering a cocoon. That's like out. I'm out. I'm going to hide in here. So what does that then do? What does that look like for someone like me? I don't move to get, I'm not moving towards healing. It's not healing in motion. It is running away from the pain. That's also a different problem altogether. Because you're still not facing it.
Yes.
So while someone else is probably sitting in it, for me, I'm running. I'm trying to find the best possible exit to leave, because I need to go. And I need to go now before this pain catches up with me. I don't want pain. I don't like the feeling of pain. And one of the things that God imagined just the other day made me realize, one of the ways I deal with discomfort is eating. Don't judge me.
No, girl, I won't judge you.
Imagine if I just feel any form of discomfort, I eat. So what do I do with the eating? I'm numbing, because I'm not going to sit there and face pain. So I'm like, wait, it's something to bite, it's something to what can I chew? And I'm there itching. So God is like, you know what? You're gonna take a fast. I'm like, dude.
First
Can we talk about?
Yes.
Can we talk?
Can we do it tomorrow?
He's like, you're gonna face it.
Yes.
You're gonna even now. I'm like, okay, no, but we're doing a very long. No, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna face some of the things that I need you to deal with, because in facing them, you're able to address them. So yes, some of us are not sitting. Some of us are running very fast, fast as our legs can take us away from the pain, and it doesn't go anywhere. You realize you still have to come back and deal with it later.
And at
which is
what
not
point
so
did you
interesting.
discern that, now I need to stop running?
I ran until I hit a wall.
Okay.
Then I realized, so where was I going? Yeah, so because now I'm not listening, so I'm not discerning.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You get, I'm running, but I have a bleeding foot. You get, so I'm running, and then I realize, wait, what? I can't move anymore. This leg is hurting. I need to face it. Another way God, I think, has helped me to discern is now use people around me. When I'm completely unable to hear him, and he's trying to catch my attention, you'll hear someone ask you something very specific, e.g. Ivy, what are you doing about the book Clothes? And I'm like, and Clara, I'm like, don't ask me. Even when you asked me about the podcast, by the way, it was still one of those things. I'm like, God, why are you sending all these people? I don't need to hear one more confirmation that it is time. You get, so he has also used people who come around me, and long enough I'm able to hear counsel. I'm like, okay, wait,
Yes.
this is something I either need to do or stop doing or face or begin to address, because it's coming out a certain way that I need to attend to it. Yeah.
So we can say also one of the things is we should not lock ourselves out of community.
Hey.
We should allow
Yeah.
ourselves
Yeah.
to have, even if it's just that one person. I know most of us say God is my best friend, but it's good to have an earthly friend, an earthly person that I can relate to and be able to say, I am not okay today,
Yeah.
or I'm not feeling well today.
Very
I think it is really, really helpful to us, because then we are able to, sometimes the discerning comes from there, from just saying, I am not okay. I need to just share this. So would also want to encourage our community that is watching us, as we build this community, it's good for you also to identify prayerfully, trust God, that person that you can be able to call to, if it is a therapist. And maybe I would want to just ask Ivy at this point to be able to speak to that girl, speak to that girl, that 21-year-old who's been left as a mother to these other children, and they are feeling they need to be strong for them. What if you were to talk to if somebody was to talk to you at 21-year-olds when mom passed, what would you have wanted to hear? Talk to that girl.
Oh, wow. My dear self, who is at that point where I was, I'm calling myself because I was right there where you are. And I would like you to know that you are not alone. You have people around you. Seek for help. There is no prize to be the bigger person when you are dying inside. There is no trophy for that. Ask for help, talk to people, identify that one person that you can pour your heart to, and let them know that you are hurting inside and going through loss. Because especially when you are the eldest and you have younger siblings who are growing, you have a lot. I understand. At some point, you'll even have to teach them how to use sanitary towels. You'll have to teach them how to communicate that this is the opposite sex, because now they're beginning to understand themselves as they grow. You begin to be like their mother, their person who knows they can talk to, and they know they can feed from you. Identify someone also who you can feed from. Also, pray. Oh, pray. Seek wisdom and guidance from God. I think my safe landing place was pouring my heart to God. If my pillow could talk, my God, if it will just squeeze it will pour out all the tears.
Yeah.
There are days I could cry myself to sleep, because sleep was something I didn't know. Because I'm thinking tomorrow is another day to face the fact that I don't have a mom.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a day to face loss. And I would cry myself to sleep, because I couldn't imagine that someone I loved so dearly could leave one day. And we had plans. We had plans how we'll go out. I'm telling you, if you're there and you know how my mom looked like, we looked like twins. She refused to get old, that woman. Hey, she looked just like me. You see the way I am, apart from this gap on my teeth. Now imagine it's closed. This is my mom. So when we walk in town, we will do matching outfits, and she will tell me we will travel the world together. We will do this together. And then now I'm asking her, and this question I asked her, like just in silence, when we hung her clothes outside after the burial and everything, and now we are washing the house and cleaning everything. The last few clothes she wore, we went and hung them outside there for them to dry. And I'm asking her, who's going to put on these clothes so that she can go with me to town for shopping, for just taking me around and just talking to me as a girl. Because I am a girl who needs a mother. She needs to tell me how I need to handle myself. To my peers, nikikatiwa, if I get a boyfriend, what do I need to do? Because even me, I don't know, and I have siblings who will ask me those questions. So I had dreams that were cut short when she left, and I felt that I don't have another dream apart from what I dreamt together with her. Let me tell you, talk to people. They will help you rise up. Talk to God. God will show you his side of the story. Because if you are still here, then it means God is still with you. Walk, belong to a community. Talk to us. Share it just the way it is. No matter how dirty that linen is, the only way for it to get washed is for it to be put in water, washed and hanged dry for you to move on. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think sometimes the way we can be able to discern is when we realize that our purpose is beyond our loss.
Yeah.
And sometimes the story we carry is a blessing to another person.
Yeah.
And I would just want to take our closing remarks from Clara and Neno before we close it, we wrap up.
Where did time go?
So there is a fear of confronting what you may not know.
Yeah.
And I thought, not even a thought, something has come to mind. And I'm reminded of how I have been looking at the patterns in my life. I have a proper pattern. And it's not a good pattern. It's a pattern of dysfunction, to the point that God has been prompting me to be able to handle that. And the way in which I am handling that is I am taking it to God and telling God, this is the pattern. This is the dysfunction to the fourth generation, and it ends with me. One of the things I have decided to do is to write letters to my son and to write letters to my grandson and tell them the dysfunction that has been there, it will not get to them. And I am making deliberate prayers into their lives of the kind of a future I want to see exhibited in their lives. However, but it might look like, what do you mean? But I feel like there is life in speaking the things that you want to see. And I'm also writing something I'm calling a personal legacy journal, just documenting all these things and saying what needs to stop. I am confronting the fear of the unknown. I am confronting these things, the unknown, on behalf of my children, that they will not face those things. I do not want. It ends with me. So this is my parting shot, that there is hope, plenty of hope. Do not fear. Do not be intimidated by the possibilities out there. Keep moving and just face tomorrow. Today will pass.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mine is
Neno,
done.
do you have a closing remark?
I feel like mine is done.
Okay.
You guys are amazing. I'm just saying, from this moment that we have just had a conversation, I realized that there are specific people I need to talk to as part of my healing journey. And may God give me the courage to just go back and have very difficult conversations, but very meaningful ones. Because then I realized the running has been in a way to avoid those conversations. But now at the season of life I am in and this stage that I feel like God is now putting me on, I will need to have had some difficult conversations by God's grace. And so you guys have lent me courage. And to the person who's watching us, I pray and hope that our conversation has also given you some courage to begin to face, to talk about, to walk into, to address, to undress, to put words into the feeling, and just allow ourselves to heal. Healing is possible.
Healing is possible. And I wrote here that healing does not require me to stop loving the dream. It requires me to stop living in the ruin of it. So thank you very much for joining us today. We hope that you're going to be blessed. We pray that you're going to have a beautiful time. Continue to follow us, share, like, comment, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next week. Have a good evening, day, night, from wherever you're watching us from. God bless.
And together we are the For Him podcast.